And for those who do not know me, thank you guys for coming back. My name is Ronnie, and I am a donor egg mom in waiting. And what that just means is my doctor told me the best chances of me conceiving was using a donor egg. So I got a with my clinic, and I handpicked a donor, and she did an egg retrieval for me. And now I have currently embryos on ice. I am on transfer number 5. I have had 4 transfers, 3 early miscarriages, 1 failed. So I'm the road to transfer number 5. If anybody knows my story, I take breaks, so I'm on currently on the break just to kind of refigure things out. And then I will probably try to transfer again this year, later on. But today we have Kristie on the panel, and she is going to talk about her journey and whatever you want to start. It seems like, we were talking before that you seemed that you didn't have any issues getting pregnant naturally. It was just the fact that you have what's called and it's called gender disappointment,
Yeah.
meaning that you have children, you're grateful for them, but sometimes you want little boys or little girls. There's even Facebook groups where they talk about what's called swaying. So it's like
Mhm.
people who have like a bunch of girls, like they'll try to sway for a boy, or if they have a bunch of boys, they will try to sway for a girl. And there's different types of like home remedies and methods that a lot of people do to get the gender, but it's a valid feeling and it's very
Yeah.
real. So whatever you want to start, we can take it from there.
Well, I guess I'll start at the beginning.
Okay.
I was talking to my church family about I had my first son in 2012. And my dream family of course would be a boy, a baby boy and a baby girl. And
Right.
it's because my mom had a boy and a girl. My husband's family, he was the only boy and there's 2 girls, and I'm just like there has got to be a boy girl family in there for me, right?
Right.
Well, my church family was like, just pray over your marriage bed, and God will give you what you dream about. Right? That's exactly what they said. And I prayed over the bed, and lo and behold, God gave me a little boy. Now, I was a little bit disappointed, but I was okay. The baby was born in Germany. It was my first time experiencing European birth, and I'll tell you right now, they treat their moms way better over there than they do over here. They pay them
Oh
to stay
wow.
home for 2 years. I didn't get to experience that part, but yeah, but the reason I was there is because we're a military family.
Okay.
So I had the little boy in Germany. They are amazing at getting you to breastfeed. He was my first breastfed baby, and I learned everything I could about, naturally taking care of my baby from the Germans. And it was because the base I was stationed at didn't have a hospital on base that could deal with me because I'm a diabetic, and it's high risk pregnancy. So
Mm.
I had to go to a doctor that was off base that could take care of me, and she was a really good doctor. I felt like that baby really was like just I loved every bit about a bit of him. I did. I was happy. But I was happy after I had him during the pregnancy. I was like, man, God, you did I really pray over the bed? That's what I said to myself. Did I pray over the bed? Then I mean my husband and I then I was actually did research on embryo adoption. After that I was like, I don't know if I want to have 3 kids, but if I do have 3 kids, I really wanted it to be a girl. But I literally at the time thought, black people don't really do things like this. Like I
Right.
never heard of
Right.
a black woman going and doing embryo adoption, especially when they can have their own biological kids.
Right.
And
Right.
there's a lot of things that African Americans shame in our culture that's just ridiculous. Because, God made every brain and every mind on this earth. So, of course, God could have put it in this person's mind to make embryo adoption. But at the time, I didn't think like that. So, my
Right.
husband and I, we moved to like North Carolina and tried for another baby girl. We actually tried before we left. And I found out, lo and behold, that that one was another little boy, my third boy. Now, that one almost broke me. That's when I got really depressed because I knew that I prayed over my marriage bed. I knew that, I asked God specifically for what I wanted. And like in the middle of my pregnancy, I shut down. I was suicidal. I was depressed. I thought maybe God didn't love me as much as, like, because he said, ask and you shall receive, in the
Right.
Bible. I'm like, God, I'm asking you, why aren't I receiving what I asked you for? I follow your word. I go to church every Sunday, all of the above, all of the stuff I was doing, and I was like, you said you bless your children, and then that's when the devil started sneaking in, of course, with the suicidal thoughts and me thinking, well, maybe God sees something in me to where I would be a horrible mother to a little girl, you know.
Wow.
Support groups. I actually sat in support groups with women. There were some of them were soldiers. They've been through so much, like there's some things that those women went through that they should never went through.
Right.
And I felt like ashamed that I was just sitting there upset at the fact that I was having a boy and I'm
Right.
in this support group. But I'm glad I went because those women really helped me get through it. We had baby showers for one girl that was going through postpartum depression when you're pregnant, you can go through the depression too. That was always heavy with me. Like one third one, obviously, I had it during. That was
Right.
also the first time I had to start taking anxiety medicine during my pregnancy because I was not normally on the medicine when, I wasn't pregnant. But of
Right.
course, I have anxiety, so I take the medicine now anyway. So I just continue taking the medicine to help me with anxiety. But I had that little boy, and I was still so very disappointed that he was a little boy. And he is the sweetest little boy ever. I love my baby so much. He will hug anybody, he will love
Oh.
on anybody. He is so sweet, and I had him, and I mean, I still was depressed. I still felt very broken. I felt terrible because I just had this baby. And of course, at the time before then, that was the reason before I got pregnant, I went on a support group for embryo adoption and I was asking questions about it. And I said, hey, I posted because people were posting, hey, I'm looking to get a baby or whatever. And I was like, hi, my name is such and such. I have two or three little boys. I don't remember which part of me was doing what I had, two boys or three boys, but I had posted about my family and I said, I'm interested in doing embryo adoption. If anyone has any embryos they have up for adoption, I'm looking specifically for a girl embryo. And they went off on me. And I mean off. I had already was feeling horrible, but they made me feel even more horrible because I could have biological children and I wasn't happy. And that's when I just gave up. I gave up at that time. And then I joined the support groups of women who were going through gender disappointment like me. And my therapist encouraged me to buy a teddy bear and give it my daughter's name, and I did that. And I just couldn't get over it. I couldn't let it
Right.
go. I literally started grieving the fact that I didn't have a daughter. It was like a stage of grief for me. I just couldn't stop being upset about it. Like, not at all. And of course, the devil used that to his advantage. I'm sorry if anyone's not a believer. I'm a believer, so I
Right.
believe that the devil was using this to his advantage. Then one day it hit me. I don't know if I was reading the Bible, listening, but something hit me. It could have been the Holy Spirit. God is not mean. He is not mean at all. God is love. No way that a God that sent his son to die for me would put it on my heart to want to have a daughter and not have a daughter out there for me. That's
Right.
what I started saying to myself. So I started looking for my daughter. I looked into the foster to adopt program. No, that wasn't for me because I told them I wanted to adopt a baby. I looked into regular adoption, and then people kept saying, well, in more cases now, people are deciding to keep their babies, or family members are adopting the babies and stuff like that. So there's no guarantee that I'm gonna pay the $30,000 or whatever it costs and actually get to keep the baby. Then I would bring the baby into my family, and my children would get attached, and then the baby would have to go back to a parent. So that's
Right.
when I visited the thought of embryo adoption again. And this is how God works, because I started looking at California conceptions when I was in Germany, and we got orders to be stationed in California
Oh, wow.
from North Carolina. That's how it happened. And the thing is, we moved to California, and we were in two bases. And the first base, my husband was just going to school, and the second base was like only 30 minutes, 45 minutes away from where I did the embryo adoption at. And I mean, I read different reviews on this place, but that place was so amazing for me. My husband and I, was a smooth transition, and everything was just, it was good for me. I did the shot. The first transfer didn't take. That one hurt a lot, like, cuz it was around Mother's Day, and I was very upset. But I don't know exactly what the embryo is supposed to look like when they're healthy. That one did look kind of weird, that embryo did. Like, but when my daughter's embryo was put into me, you wouldn't believe this. This man asked me to sing him a song. I love to sing, and I don't remember what I was singing, but it was a song about God. And I just felt like my daughter's spirit was in there with me, and God's spirit
Oh,
was in the room
wow.
with me when I did the second transfer. And
So
that
what
one.
happened? So let's just walk back a little bit. So when you went to California Conception, can you tell me how the process worked with embryo donation, adoption? Can you say how that worked with them in the clinic?
So they're strictly anonymous. Everything about them was anonymous. You don't know the donors' names. The donors don't know each other. And they
Right.
basically made the embryos, I guess, wherever they made the embryos. And then
Okay.
they give you the embryos. Like, they had profiles that we looked at about the candidates. And I chose my candidate because she seemed to like music and dancing like me. And also, the female was like that, but the male was also part Russian. My husband is from Russia. And I was
Okay.
like, okay, so my daughter could at least have a little bit of a connection to her brothers. She's part Russian or whatever.
Right.
And it just seemed to be the right one. And that profile had two female embryos.
Okay.
And what really made me sad when I lost the first one was there was only two, and I had to choose a second profile, and I wasn't really feeling like I liked that one that much.
Right.
But I'm glad the second one took, and I'll tell you why a little bit
Okay.
later.
So can you walk us through the cost of what it was for California Conceptions, and do you pay like per embryo? Do you pay for like a lot? How does that work there?
They gave me three embryo transfers for 15,000. I think it was 15,000.
Okay.
And you only get three, and once the third one is done, you gotta pay again, I
Pay
guess.
again.
But
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
So
but they made the embryos there.
because you only had two, you were able to pick a third one.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I was, well, I had two under one profile, and I had to pick a second profile just in case the thawing process
Right.
didn't, work for the embryo.
Okay.
And that was just like a backup emergency one.
Are all the embryos there, are they all PG tested?
Yes.
They are? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so in case anybody was who watches this would know to go there, kind of has like a little bit of idea of how the clinic works. So
Yeah.
you get three transfers for 15 and all the embryos.
I
Honestly, it's
could be
not,
wrong about the price, but
I mean, it
um
sounds like it's not
yeah.
that too bad of a price, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, you're talking about 5,000 per embryo.
It wasn't that bad of a
And
price.
does that include maybe the monitoring and everything like that? The whole like you just pay one flat fee and
Yeah, they
then
monitored me. The only thing is you have to pay for your medicine, but
medicine.
I have military insurance, so my medicine was free.
Okay, perfect, perfect.
My son is outside the door.
Oh, okay. We're
Sorry,
just gonna
he's
take a
going
little,
away
just
now.
take a little 5 minute break there. Hold on, just a
He's
second.
fine. He's
Oh, he's
fine.
fine.
My
Oh, okay.
husband, I told him what I was doing.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you went and then you did your first transfer and it did not work out. How did you
Yeah.
feel?
I kind of felt a little bit scared at that time, like, oh, I only get 3 times to do this. What if the
Right.
second time and the third time don't take? I mean, I was, questioning, man, was this money really worth? Because 15,000 don't seem like too much to some people, but
No, it's a
the
lot.
military don't get paid that much, so
Right.
yeah, it was a lot for us to pay, you know.
Now, another question I want to ask you is because you were getting pregnant naturally, why didn't you just try IVF yourself and then just do like the genetic testing? Was this cheaper or what just
I
made you
didn't
go
want to
straight to
put
that?
any of my embryos up for adoption. And also I feel like that's a really hard place to be in. I did think about it, but I also thought about the health issues I have too. Like I have
Okay.
a long list of health issues, not just
Okay.
counting the diabetes, the anxiety. I mean, it all runs in my family, and I didn't want to
Right.
pass that on to a baby and then give that baby to somebody else, and they're gotten to go through all this with my baby or with
Right.
their baby, thinking that like what's going on with my daughter, like
Right.
I just thought about all that stuff, like my health issues and all the other stuff going on with me and going on with people in my family. And I didn't want to pass that on if I'm not going to have. But I also thought about the fact that there are babies that are frozen that needed to be adopted. And if this place had them there, I was just going to go with that. And that's why that place was just perfect for me, you know?
And depending on to your age, sometimes, people who get, I tell them that too, just because you get pregnant naturally and you try to do medical intervention, because that's happened to women before, is they'll go and
Mhm.
do IVF and their body just doesn't simply respond or they don't get like the egg quality that they thought. Because
Yeah.
spontaneous pregnancy is just what it is. It's just spontaneous. It just basically, right place, right time.
Yeah.
And that just happens to work. So just depending on your age, sometimes it may not have worked out like you thought it was. And so some
It
people
was
do
my late
bypass.
30s too. And if I had another
Right.
boy, it would just, nah, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I met this lady in Las Vegas. She had like 5 boys and 1 girl. I was like, nah.
Well, we have one of the girls, she did egg donation and then her partner. So all the embryos that they tested were like all girls. And
Mm.
then like they had one that was inconclusive, so they just tested that one. It was a girl.
Oh,
So she's like the opposite. Like her significant other, he really wants a boy, and she was like,
yeah.
"Look, the cards may be saying that you are not meant to be a boy dad. Like you may
Mm.
just be to be a boy, a girl dad." So I mean, that's still the possibility that they could have tested the embryos and they could have all been boys too. I
For
mean, it's just
real. It really would have been, and that could have been the case, like, and I would just had like a slew of boys in there. And then I would have been, because I actually have a friend who did IVF for herself, and she got a girl and a boy. And this is why I'm glad I didn't do it. All of her babies are still frozen. She's still trying to convince herself to put her embryos up for adoption. And I'm
right,
like, hey, there's this group you should join, and she's not ready to do it yet. I don't
right,
didn't want to have to go through that thought, and I could understand her. I didn't want to have to go through that thought process of, oh man, should I put him up for adoption now? Or, oh, and then like if I couldn't, if some people wanted a closed adoption, that would hurt very much
right.
so, not to see the babies. And yeah, it was just something I thought about. I would have wanted to at least be some part of the lives of the kids that came from me, like a part of me, you
Right.
know?
Is that the reason why you chose California connections too? It's just like a close kind of a thing and
They
just
were
just anonymous.
I chose them in Germany. They weren't close when I chose them. And like literally the lady who was my coordinator was the one that finally I got to meet in person
Wow.
when I did that. My daughter is trying to get in here now.
Listen, everybody's like, "What, mommy? What is you doing?" D in the chat, she just said she can tell you that gender disappointment is real.
Yeah,
Um,
it is.
I think she definitely understands because she is going through the process and she really wanted a girl. And
Yeah.
then I think they tested D. If they tested it and they were you had boys, since you had
Yeah,
boy
I had boys.
embryos, and then we had
My daughter is coming in.
Well, come on in, sweetheart.
Off Ruby. I'm showing Ruby off. Okay. Ruby, you want to say hi? Hi. Good.
Hi,
Well, this is my
Ruby.
daughter, Ruby.
Hi, beautiful. How are you?
Hi.
I like your hair.
She was bald when she was born. Oh my God, I'm sorry. My son sings just like me. Okay, Ruby, you can't grab the phone. Ugh. Yeah,
Yeah,
anyway,
three.
that's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
daughter.
All her
That's my
embryos are
husband.
boys. She was like, well, I
Are
guess
you
my
still in the
dreams of being a
dress?
girl mom
Are
will
you
not
going out
come
to
true.
karaoke?
She
No.
really is. Yeah,
Excuse
she
me a
really
second.
is. Okay, no problem. Yes, gender disappointment is a very real thing. So that's why I'm glad that she's talking about it because I think it's just a cool way to to get your baby.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to get pregnant, but then you're using an alternate method, which is embryo donation to get your baby. So
Yeah.
I think that some people who don't know that that's an option is really good that you're coming on to talk about it.
Yeah, I felt ashamed though because I felt a lot of shame over it because some people can have like some people can't have babies at all and they
Right.
would be thankful for any baby, but I was like really upset and depressed and just angry and hurt, and I was blaming myself a lot. And it's just a lot of people don't come and talk about it, and I wanted to talk about it because I wanted other women to know, it's we all feel other people feel this way,
Well, you
you
got people
know
in the chat right now. They said they totally had to grieve not having a girl. So,
yeah,
and we have women, the opposite. They would have girls and definitely wanted a boy. I definitely know one of the moms, she was wanting a boy. And so really, really bad.
yeah.
And she ended up having a daughter, you know,
Mm,
and she has the opportunity if she wants to. I think she's done, but some people go on to still, get the gender that they want.
yeah,
And in this case, this is what Kristie did. Like she really, really wanted daughter. Does that's what I said. The desire is still there. Like you must still want to do it.
yeah.
Um, she said, yes, I always had a dream of having a little girl to give my mommy a granddaughter. Oh, D. So second transfer works. How do you feel?
mean, I'm extremely happy with the fact that I finally had my girl. She's my princess. I take her. I walk out. I could find. You know what really was like one of the hardest things, going into Walmart and seeing these cute little things at the store. You couldn't. You had no one to buy it for. And then
Right.
you have a friend that's pregnant with girls. I'm like, I'll go buy your baby a present. Please let me buy your baby a present. Because you just want to buy
You
something
just want to
pink
buy
or
something.
something with glitter on it. And in the thrift store, they be having the cutest clothes too. Lord.
Now, when you got pregnant, because I'm assuming that you didn't have any scares, like, did you have any fears or anything that something may go wrong during your pregnancy?
I I got what's it called? Placenta previa. Like it's when your placenta is like leaning, it's apparently quite common when you do IVF or whatever.
Right,
Your placenta is like hanging over your uterus. I forgot what it's called.
right.
And I had bleeding during that time. And I had just went on a walk through like a pumpkin patch with my kids, something I normally do, when I'm pregnant. And it wasn't like extra or anything like that. And then I
Mm.
had bleeding. And the doctor, it was so weird because the doctor told me I had vasoprevia, which is like when the baby's blood is coming out. And
Oh,
that scared the
wow.
living daylights out of me. And then this
Right.
other doctor gonna tell me, "Oh, did you Google that?" No, I didn't Google it. Not Google. Who would Google something like that while they're pregnant?
Right. No, that's not Google that.
Yeah. Oh, you Dorethra? Oh
Ross,
yeah, she
yeah.
said she was getting dolls and dresses. I'd see my mom was collecting the dolls and my mother-in-law was collecting dolls and stuff while I was pregnant with the boys. And I'm just like, it's a boy.
It's okay. D,
Whew.
D is gonna be the best boy mom ever. We are so happy for her.
Hmm.
So she's here. Your pregnancy was a little bit scary.
Yeah.
And I want you to, before you talk about that, I want you to say, you said you were glad, you were so happy, and I know there has to be a reason of why the second set didn't, or she took, and you said, why are you saying that?
So, you talking about the first one that
Yeah,
they
you
put
said
in?
that you had to pick a
It,
second one, but you were so happy that this one worked out, and you said you'll tell us why.
oh, well, so um I actually got to meet my daughter's egg donor, even though it was anonymous.
How?
So my husband and I felt some type of way. Like I really wanted to be able to like, because my daughter is white, and at the time I didn't think, oh, black women, white baby, people gonna be, she gonna ask questions in the future, right? So my husband and I did 23andMe. And it was so weird because we used like one of those nose freeders to suck some of the spit out of her mouth, and I didn't even think it was enough spit to put in the little 23andMe kit. But they found my daughter's great aunt. So my husband did some sleuthing and he went on Facebook and found the great aunt, and we found a picture of a woman who looks exactly like my daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we found her name. I saw her on Instagram, and I literally stalked this woman for a whole year and didn't say nothing. And I was just praying. I was like, God, I just really want to thank her and tell her so much how much she gave to me. And so I mean, I would send her messages on Facebook and delete the messages.
Wow.
Finally, one day I sent her a message on Instagram and I didn't delete it. And I waited until the next day and looked at it, and she messaged me back.
And what did
And
she say?
she was like, yeah, I did embryo adoption. I mean, embryo egg donation. And I'm kind of surprised, but do you have a picture of your little one? And so I sent her a picture of my daughter, and she said she cried because my daughter looks just like her. And I mean, they could have been twins.
Really?
Twins. She sent me a picture of her at my daughter's age. Twins. Same
Wow.
smile, same everything.
How
Twins.
did
When
that
people
make you
walk up to
feel?
me and tell me, "Oh, she looks like the black version of you," I'm like, the white version of you." I'm like, no, she don't. In my mind, I'm saying that, and then people be like, "Oh, she look just like her daddy." I'm like, yeah, sure she does.
Well, how did that make you feel?
I was so happy, but the thing is, I was wanting to have her be a part of my daughter's life,
Oh,
because
wow.
one day Ruby's gonna have questions. One day she's gonna want to know her. I wouldn't even mind knowing a little bit about the biological dad, but nothing about him popped up.
Popped up,
But
right?
we all got to meet her family. Like Ruby got to meet her biological grandparents, cousins, her biological sister. Ruby got to meet her
Wow.
biological sister. They're coming actually because I just finished a program for medical billing and coding, and my daughter's biological mom is coming down to go to my graduation. So I got a daughter and a sister.
Oh my God.
God answered my prayer big time when I tell you he sent me a whole a whole sister to love and a
Oh my
daughter.
God. Now, I
And
just
I
want to
know a lot of
say
people
that
feel,
does not work
some
out for
type of way.
everybody.
I know, it doesn't. But
That does
I
not work
mean,
out for everybody, but I am so happy that that worked out for you. Oh my
oh
gosh, that
yeah.
is what an amazing story. Because they,
Mhm.
did your clinic have any kind of thing of like, I mean, really, truly, they can't. This is what they
They didn't
tell,
tell me not to. I mean, that well, I didn't tell them that I found her.
right? But this is what
I
they tell
mean,
the egg donors now anyway, is there's no such thing as anonymous. You know what I'm saying? Like
mhm.
it, because everybody has some sort of now digital footprint.
She told
So,
them though that she wanted them to give her information out, but they still
right.
didn't.
They still didn't, right?
They
But they,
didn't.
and they won't. So, like my
Mhm.
clinic is the same way. Like everything is anonymous, but you do
Yeah.
have the opportunity. Like you can talk to the you can talk to the clinic, they can talk to the egg donor. The egg donor can agree that, so I have what's called like open. So when my child turns 18, they can go to the clinic and request it. It's still not
Yeah.
guaranteed, that she may say yes, but they do let them know that we can't stop people from doing, DNA testing
Yeah.
or anything like that. It's just too readily available for people not to know. So that means that
Yeah.
anybody that that is possibly, like you said, she didn't do one, but someone in her family did one, that can kind of, piecemeal the things together. So
Yeah.
they do tell them it's not anonymous anymore, that you could get a
Yeah.
knock on the door, you could get a message or something like that. That,
But that's why I sat on her information for a year, because my husband, like she probably she might not want to be contacted. All that was
right,
going through my head, but
right,
I was like, I wanted to tell her thank you, and I
yeah,
didn't wasn't expecting her to continue to talk to me after I told her that. Like, I wasn't
right,
expecting us to be able to be friends. I wasn't expecting us to, at least, for me to be able to call her my sister. But
right,
I did get my answer prayer. I'm able to give her love and tell her thank you and just be in her corner. She's younger than me, like in her 20s, and
mm-hmm,
she's going to college right now, and
right,
she's going to become a nurse, and I'm excited for her, and I get to love on her, and pour God's love into her when she's going through something.
right,
I get to tell her, it's gonna be all right. God's got you when you feel like you don't got it. I love being able to tell stuff like that to her. And I don't have any, like, well, I have a brother, but he's autistic, so it's different.
right.
And so it's very nice to have a sister, a person that's sister like. We have a connection that's not like anyone else's connection. No one else will probably ever understand it.
No, they don't. And I think that that's the beauty of it is, and what this platform is built on is, every family doesn't look black and white, and what is black and white now these days is so different and it's so unique for everyone. And we
Yeah.
need stories like this, that you can see, like, hey, we've had women on here whose their sisters carry their babies,
Yeah.
we've had people who have, gotten donated embryos from our group, we've had so
Yeah.
many ways of creating a family, and they're all beautiful in their own right. The goal is to be a mom, or to get that baby that you always wanted to be a part of your family, that you not
Yeah.
necessarily could have done without, medical intervention to do that. And so I
Yeah.
love your story and the fact that you were able to do something, because this is the thing, I've seen a lot of groups that they always say, should I reach out to my donor? And they'll get bashed for it. They'll say, don't do that. That's why she's anonymous. That's
Mm.
why she doesn't want to be known. And some
Yeah.
people do roll the dice, and they've had situations where it's like, look, I told the clinic that if somebody wanted my information,
Yeah.
they could
Just
get it,
tell
and the
them.
clinic
I got to turn my
refused,
fan on. I'm hot.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they've refused to do that. I've seen that a couple of times in this situation. So, with anything, you just trust your
Yeah.
gut. I think the thing is, we need to know, like, it can go either way, when you're
Yeah.
doing this, and you kind of just prepare your heart, because it feels like knowingly, when you waited so long, that you were preparing your heart for a
Yeah.
rejection, and you didn't get
Well,
that.
I just was preparing my heart for what I wanted to get out there and not
Right,
expecting anything in return from her
right,
end. That's
right.
what I said. I just want to tell her thank you.
Thank
Tell
you.
her I love her for everything that she's ever done for me, and give her a small gift, and then go about my life if she didn't want
Right,
to be a part of my life. I wasn't expecting her to want to continue to talk to me. I wasn't expecting her to want to, have a connection to my daughter. I feel like, if you want to reach out to your egg donor, just don't expect anything in return when you reach out. Reach out,
right,
say, hey, I really thank you for, giving me this gift, because without you, I probably would not have it.
right,
And that's all I wanted to do.
right.
And I'm glad I did it.
I did the same thing too for mine. She, when I went to the clinic and, did my transfer, I had like a basket and stuff, and they gave it to her. And that's what I wrote
Hmm.
in the note. It's like, because of you, I have the opportunity to become a mom one day, just because of
Yeah.
this small gift. Like, They
Yeah.
put themselves through so many things, medications, and
Yeah.
and some of them go through what's called OHS, where they have like hyperstimulation because they have too many eggs, and they go
Mm.
through all of this, and yeah, it's temporary, but the fact is that you took some time, and they get compensated for it too.
Yeah, they
But
do. Yeah.
they still took the time to want to do. It's still a selfless act,
Yeah.
because they don't. I mean, they don't have to do it, and they do, and it's like because of you, I am now able to be. I'm able to have my dreams come true.
Yeah. And
Um,
I said I could never donate my eggs. Like I said, I would want to
really.
be a part. I'd want to have like an open adoption where I could at least see the baby and I could be auntie or something. Cousin,
I
I'll be
mean, a lot of people,
cousin.
but
I could be
you can
cousin.
do that. So some of the girls do like what's called private. So you get
Yeah.
basically kind of work out your own kind of a contract where you can have those things and have them
Yeah.
in place.
But
That
not
if you want to get
everybody.
pictures, right?
But
That's
not
true.
everybody.
No, but you could find the right family that would do either or.
Yeah.
I think some people just don't understand this. I think that embryo donation, adoption, and all these kind of things are very new in our and new all the way around. Are just starting to become something where we're now realizing like people did. What the thing is before, a lot of people were doing egg donations. We just didn't know about it. I mean, and still today, like the way my timeline is set up is I know a lot of these women that are on my timeline are egg donor moms. They just don't say it. I know about it because we're in the group together, and so now we're friends. And then I see them post their babies, but they don't talk about it.
They got I think a movie or somewhere, I forgot where it is, where they're talking about the beginning of IVF.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm interested in looking at it because it looks really cool.
because that's what I said. I have several now being in this space. I have several, and I mean several on egg donor moms, and they all post their babies and they all post their stuff. Nobody comes out and says outright that this is egg donation baby. I know it is because I was in a group with them, and so I know. I don't sit there and go, your egg donor
People
baby is so
just
cute. I just
assume,
say, oh, they're just getting big. And like you said, how many times have you
yeah.
walked in somewhere and they say she's the white version of you? If you don't say
She
anything,
looked
nobody,
just like her daddy.
right? Nobody says anything. So they don't know. I mean, people don't know. I mean, there are a lot of children out
Okay.
here that were born this way, but this is why I designed this platform so that you could see, or someone else could see who thinks like nobody's doing this but me. It's a lot of us
Yeah.
doing this. It's a lot
Yeah.
of us doing this. And
Yeah.
that's the thing is, we all go on, and even like our moms, they all go on to have like wonderful lives and everything. And
hmm
half the time is, just when do you even think about it?
My son Atticus is at the door.
Oh.
But yeah, I
Do you
wanted
even
to.
think about it?
I just wanted to tell women who felt like me. You might have biological kids and just want to have a specific gender. Don't be ashamed of how you feel
Right.
because your feelings are valid, and it's okay to feel upset, and it's okay to grieve. Like nobody told me that, and I just felt awful, and that's probably why I spiraled so badly.
Right.
Is because I felt ashamed, and you should not have to feel ashamed of something that you're feeling. And especially in the world we're living in, we have therapy, you could take medicine if you need to take medicine. Don't feel ashamed of that either. Just don't be ashamed of what gets you to tomorrow. Someone told me that once. Don't be ashamed of what got you to tomorrow. You know, if you had to sit in a support group with a bunch of people who may have looked like they were going through worse than what you are going through right now, you still made it to tomorrow.
Right.
And it's okay to be upset if you have three boys and you want a girl, or you have three girls and you want a boy. That's okay, because the thing is, we are emotional creatures. Every single person on this earth has emotions. And you should not feel ashamed of feeling your emotions. If your heart is broken, that's okay. Everybody in this earth has had their heart broken before. Not one person has ever been not heartbroken over something. That's what I wish somebody would have told me when I was going through what I went through.
It's
And
funny
if
that
you
you
run into, I
think
did
that.
join some wonderful groups on Facebook after this other one. I left that one. And I thank the people that did hop into my IMs after those people went off on me and said, don't worry about those people. There are places where you can do embryo adoption. Because there were some people who literally were like, I will never give you my embryos. But there were some people who got in my IMs and said, he's putting Ruby to sleep, boy. There were some people who got in my IMs and said, there are some places where you can go do embryo adoption. And I'm thankful to those people. I don't remember who they are, but they got me to tomorrow.
Amen. It's funny that you're saying this because that's usually like my last like things is like, what would you tell a woman who was going through the situation you were? And you answered my question, and I didn't even have to
Ooh,
ask it. Embryo
yes, ma'am.
donation, adoption. I love that you have a story because you have biological children that are related to you, DNA, and now you have a daughter who is not. So tell me about your bond. Is it any different between your biological children and your embryo donated daughter?
Not at all. That child steals my food off my plate, even though she got a plate sitting right next to her, just like her brothers did. She will shove a chip in my face that she just had in her mouth. And I will not know that it was in her mouth, and I'll chew on the chip and be like, why is this chip wet?
So we're gonna say that the connection is no different. It's still the same. Do you ever even think
Exactly.
about it? Do you ever does it
Not
even
really.
like yeah?
Sometimes I think about it when people look at us weird, but I'll just look right back at them weird.
Well, I mean, I think don't you have that kind of
Ruby will
issue
just be
too?
like, Mommy, Mommy. And that'll answer all their questions. Yesterday, or the other day, someone asked me if I was her grandmother. I'm like, I look like a grandma to you.
I don't think
I don't
so,
have
but
no
okay.
I don't have no wrinkles. I don't have any gray hairs. Where am I a grandmother?
But I would have to say, because I mean, I'm sure like some of your boys, they're lighter too. I'm sure they probably
Yeah.
look at you funny too. Either way, so I think that would have
Yeah.
happened either way, or that happens either
Yeah.
way. And you know they came out of you. You know them yours.
Yeah.
People still ask
No.
questions.
Yeah, I mean, my oldest son came out looking like he was an Asian baby. I'm so serious. He looked like he was Asian as we were leaving the hospital. I was in the wheelchair holding my baby, and this Asian lady was sitting next to me. She looked at my baby, then looked at hers. It was funny. But
Listen, I tell
yeah,
everybody you can't control what they look like. This is what they look like. Okay, that's what they
one
look
time
like.
this lady asked me about my daughter. I was like, oh, we black people, we chameleons. We can give birth to anything. I told her that about my daughter. She believed it.
Someone said that I remember sharing it on the platform, another platform, and someone said to me, "You should be thankful you have embryos," because she had all
Mm.
boys, and they said she'd be
Mm.
thankful. Yeah, we can definitely listen. I, as y'all can see, my skin tone is I'm a little bit lighter than a lot of people in my family. My mom was like, "Oh boy, how am I going to
Mhm.
explain this one?"
We have a lot in our DNA that just
Yeah,
is mixed up with everybody else's.
Lisa. Yeah, it's so true. I am so happy you came on to share your story. Does anybody have any questions for Kristie before we end this? Can't thank you enough.
I'm
Um,
glad I got to do it.
I loved it. One, I think we learned a lot. As I said, there are a lot, and we had Erica on here too. Now Erica was 50. And she had biological children, and she wanted to have another one, and so she used embryo. The same thing. She used embryo. No, she used the egg donor. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And she has her son, but she said that The same thing that you said. They all the same. She said sometimes they think that my other kids think I love my son more than I love them. And I'm like,
Yes, indeed.
someone said I just wanted to say they appreciate your story. It was a beautiful one. Going, God bless you.
Oh,
Amazing
thank you.
story, and one that's not truly traditional. You know, most
Yeah.
of the women that come on here are struggling through infertility. I've had a couple of women who didn't and still needed to do IVF. And so I'm here to let, any woman know like that's still okay too. Um I happened to be talking to a girl and she said that she wanted I just saw her talking like she was on the live stream, she was in a box. And she said she really wanted to be a mom, but she didn't know like how she could do it. And they were all having a conversation and I walked in and I was like, did she not know what I do? And she saw me and I came in her live stream and she said, you were saying something, you said you didn't know what I do. And I said, yeah, I help women get their babies. And she said, how do you do that? And I was like, yeah, girl, listen, D can tell you. I'm a problem solver. Like, what we need to do? We need to get embryos. This one don't work. What we need to do? Get more. What we need to do? We need to get some insurance. Like, what we need to do?
You need to
What do we need to do?
advertise more because if I would have known about your group before, I would have at least had more information on it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know about this group, and that's when I joined the other group, and they were so mean. I felt bad.
The whole thing is like I started my journey like so I don't know when you actually started. So and that's the thing is I really don't. I mean I get in trouble even over here. They're like, you don't ever like talk about what you really do. And I'm like,
Hmm.
people find out when they're supposed to find out. I don't like to be pushy. But D, yeah, D, my little D in there. D, we gotta do
I
a follow
joined
up
your group
interview
after
too.
I had my daughter.
You found
I
it
think,
afterwards, okay.
yeah, I had was in a group with Miss Tanya, and I don't know if you know who she is. But she brought me from the other group where they were losing their minds. It was another group that was losing their mind. And
Oh,
I came over to y'all and I felt very welcomed. I just don't post as much as I can, but when I was
right.
going through people like looking at me weird with my baby, I would post about it with y'all and I'd get some support, you know. And it was nice to have a place I could post it because I didn't tell anyone on my Facebook that I did embryo adoption. Like nobody knows except for the people that are close to me.
To you, yeah.
Yeah. And it's
And
nice to have a place where I can say things like, man, these people are making me feel awkward because I'm walking around with my baby and they looking at me all weird.
the crazy thing is, most of us, a lot of women here, we are their safe haven, and
Hmm.
I am very proactive about saying like, there's no judgment.
Yeah.
The only thing that I don't like, I really ask them not to do, is like brag about having babies. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
can I can have like a ton of babies. Like, I'm like, we got plenty of spaces for that. Like, let's not do that.
They can post that on
Um,
their Facebook.
right, you post it on your Facebook, and even too, like they want us in this group, and I'm like, now clearly what the group says is what it is. This is a group for women using egg donation and all this kind of stuff. So you come in my
Yeah.
group and you're like, hey, the doctor told us I need an egg donor, I need this. Girl, welcome to the club. We are here for you. Now,
Yeah.
we are not here to convince you to use your own eggs. I didn't use
Mm,
mine, girl. How am I gonna convince you? I can convince you to do
never.
that when I didn't do it. So I'm here when you are ready to come to acceptance. That is what
Yeah.
I'm here for. That is what D comes in there for. Keisha came in there. Sherry came in there for. Leah came in
Yeah.
there. We all came because I wanted, like you, I wanted to know, is this okay for me to do it? And I'm like, girl,
Yeah.
do you do whatever you want to do? That's what you want to do,
Yeah.
and that's
I
what we're
like
here
that,
for.
it says every shade of fertility because, like, I didn't know African American women did it. And that's why I felt very awkward about the fact that I did it in the beginning. But I'm glad that I did it. Very happy.
Yes, every shade of infertility means do you and go get your baby. Leah knows, listen, go get your baby. That's what I tell them all the time. Yeah, every
Exactly.
shade of infertility is for every shade. That means white, black, Hispanic, whatever. Now we do cater to women
Hmm.
of color, but that's what
Oh
every
yeah.
shade means. It
Oh
also
yeah.
means every shade. So if you want to do egg donation, embryo donation, adoption, surrogacy, that's every shade too as well. It was a double entendre, you know what I'm saying? Chat GBT helped me with that.
Give me a second.
So, to come with the whatever it is, no matter the avenue, that's what I say. There are so many diverse paths, one beautiful destination, no matter the avenue.
Exactly.
No matter what we're gonna do, go get our baby. And so that's what you did.
Exactly.
You went and got your baby,
I
and you
sure did.
love her. She's
I love her so much.
amazing.
She's so
Stink a
beautiful.
butt.
Oh yeah. All of that.
So we usually close out with a